So I am really happy to have Gerard here to have chat with about his work in film and just what inspires him in general. Gerard, thanks a million for coming on the call.
No bother.
Um, you are originally from Cartagena. Tell me about that. Your background.
Badaríoch. So hagan ma máthar ó cheann trá mar ní mar a chu agus ma ahar ó Badaríoch Tomás ó Híbáin agus a Berta fúgam an in Híbáin is tres ní Híbáin agus Jeharháin taig ó Híbáin. Brahmar nás gofuil mar scoilnis.
Yeah, I know. Brother,
Agus
appreciate
bíad me gimmer
No,
peil agus dhéanamh
Dan
mathematic
Hamilton, bhear an álas faoi de fréamhacha, your roots.
godíireach. So sin é a bhríontar agus pásas níos chughine.
Right. And like Céad tá tú ag obair mar astóir agus aberlum faoin scéal sin le conas gur hála sé gur thosnaigh tú amach ag astóra.
Bon. Well, bhí anmh ólíocht an ollscoil limní agus bhí sais ag obair lei sin gur cúpla bliain agus son fuair anna depressed agus bhí sa obrú sin amach gur cúpla bliain agus
Mhm.
is lei sin tháinig an smaoinemh amach like my other astóireacht agus son hosníos and I was like, well, I'm already depressed, it can't get much worse, so I might as well go for it. Agus son, yeah, just size. There's cúpla dramas an ollscoil limní agus an son just deirigh sé cúpla rudaí is bhís anna hóca leis agus bhí sais rudéig an ann agus an son chuas go dtí an Beehive Theatre le Gwendole agus Malcolm agus bhí sé son thar cín thar bar méallar just fáil méallar eistóireacht agus go chéanar agus fuair cúpla chóirle ó Charlotte chun an slинneá ché ríis ná Calorie um, agus furas cúpla éisteachtaí an sonna gur scoil drámaíocht tal Lúndan
Mhm.
agus bhí cappa Williamsa as my bheabhar nó bhfuil sé seo fíor rud. I was like, am I mental or is this something agus dairigh lom agus fuairteach in áit Lúndan, so I was like, all right. Nílim sa tóg
Mentally, yeah.
so agus son hosnig ruí an son á sin ach bhí sé nó sé sin math an nó sé
Agus
sin
cad a bhí an sais an sppraige lis a gut faoi sin like an raibh rud éigent ar telefís nó scanán éigent nó just like cad a bhí ann cad a sppraig tú chun a bheith de astóir like
Is tógan ar bhís ó bhís anna hóca le scanána agus bhís gcónaí dul sios go Michael Francis, VCR, tapes, gus bhís bheit a farir bouta bháin ar hiníthe an son an lá an níag bheit a farir timppla tíú cear boutaí just over agus an son vís chur VCR tapes, record Queen le é sin, as ví a tafa there like Braveheart ach bheitchart two VCR tapes a bheit go chun an fad an siúr le a bheit go. And you'd have to remember if bheitchart, the ads stop the recording or record
yeah.
sky an run agus is agus stopan or vís anó comáile sin Benny Cos dhéanamar drama beag cúcolin agus is cuioine am rís anna fuair anna insbrado sin agus is cuioine am hí caiicís nó tí seachtainna agus bhí Benny Cosig a lorug bhí si chur ceisne ar an meall cúpla focail ach bhí si chur ceist am meallar can you act out this word and then ví a dhéanamh sin agus bhí an ran go léir gáirí scochéanad so and she was like dúirt si like oh behind then larg in astór go road so it's thought go raibh sais like síalta bheoga choristigh onam
Mm,
níos sús ar nó sé sin
yeah.
uh, achas so go dimid sé rís mar hús go man scáil mar vís gimmer pell is ní mórrán astór dollar agus sto gur ri sé rud má gur rís depression san chunéil a lá a éis.
Yeah, is dócha chumá go bhfuil sé onin an túsáis go bhfuil rudéigent.
Mm,
I don't know.
Brilliant.
It's kind of in you to be a creative or an actor or a writer from a long,
Yeah.
from early on, maybe. And I find that really interesting that you like can remember and track it. Like it's,
Yeah, is scuoine mi bhí Mahénas Martino chun na chóir agus bhí mar an go cear na chuig agus bhí sa scríb an scíal agus bhí sé siúd dhéanamh na picúris bhí mar dhéanamh comic books
wow,
A4 paper.
deadly. Do you have it still? And that'd be great.
I doubt it. I doubt it. It's
Worth millions now.
beidir go bhfuil siad an tinine éigent blianta na hain. Agus is scuoine nar bhís gá blion diaag díis os níos a scríb screenplay agus bhí an tanim an tedalvíar ná Opposite Worlds agus bhí sé meallar fear éigen is scuid sé rud éigen ó siúpa agus é bhí sé ré ónna gardaí agus bhí sé staachchasáis telephone box ach nuair néim sé amach bhí sé down difriúil it's like alternate universe agus bhí
Nor be too Kenny's. God, oh
roiíag díis
my God.
agus bhí sé meallar sais go raibh gachéanna sais dúr sa dain agus bhí na freigraí go léir go siúd so bhí sin an meachsús na hierarchy na sosialtas gachéanrad ach ní bhéon sais kryptonite is dócha ní bhéon sais nemesis so ní ros I was like sé seo ró le leatherrán ach ní léon sais
Tension.
yeah ach nó rí séideag blion dí sin son cnúc go raibh Idiocracy an scanán sin and I was like sné an scanán a ví a gé a scríomh gus ní bailile mé ha sé go fáach so
Yeah. Wow.
um, but
Genie.
yeah gus coní ví like hí rudí a dul aiger scoil is viidir like ha commórtas a ggóir scrí an áirecht nírá a gére an commórtas I was like no ní a gé commórtas am not níams chun fiú van dolleisteach
Yes.
stigelte now there came he's like no.
Like I'm not competitive in your brain kind of thing.
Yeah, níl me gére like a bheith like so okay and then is fair cé screen or is fair ní a gére like é sinní an a ví
Uh-huh.
hen beidir no neidir.
Hmm. Agus ó hen like tá rudí scrí like scanán scríte agat agus tá tú aberlum faoin na jobs a bhí agat is scanán agus ar telefís agus rudí like bhí báite le déanaí nach raibh.
Bhí bát a le déna ví a vi sin gá blian a hen hús sa Connemara le Ruán McGann, Eleanor O'Brien mar an príomh Eistóir agus Smó Dunford. Yeah, bhí anna haimimegain bhí sé
Hmm.
just anna simú a fio chun siar an da sin Sheena Lambert a scríb an leabhar agus an screenplay. agus an difriíocht idir an leabhar agus an screenplay bhí sé simú a fio an teir.
Hmm.
Agus just an am sin agus an
Ma hédí bhí agat like bhí sé go huntaach ar fad like just an dahan ar fad like bhí yeah.
né just bhí stíl an agus is breile man na héadí an na seachtaí áráis bhí si ví a gé a goide an festéis like no.
Yeah, no, agus character simúla bhí agat ó héamh like man of the house or whatever.
Bhí sais cócht aige bhí sé tatarrá ó Lúnan is bhí sé trééis se anime dionanamh an airige dionanamh. Man a few words mar der fá.
Yeah, yeah. Agus cad eile tá tú go ar fi láthir nó bhfuil
Rí
rudí.
láir ham scríomh scanán sé sin tacht a raig a cha sé an early development is socha
Mhm,
agus ha héin agus cíanach an cuar an dagen
mhm.
boomer fi sin agus haí chun gas goán íon an famid 6 chutin steach de schedule beidir mí na sound agus á gas go an teach suas deire na mísa rit má agus a scrín ó na ó sin ó meistéal
Aha.
agus há a héanaiste gan beidir go meach mó don fuidirtí gan chumá agus
Oh wow.
so bheith sé sin simú mar hína scoúpla scanán eile réim bliana le mó mar an príomhheistúir chumá agus Dean Cavendish scríbe is bhí mar DP chumá is bhí sé sin bankers but yeah yeah Stíl difriúil ar fad go héile difriúil ó bád a just sais down King Puck an tanna an scanán sin sais art house experimental sais.
Yeah, agus an stíl chumá ó heh an stúrthirde tá sé anna ifriúil ó scanna agus scanna nach like
Tá sé cinnte agus ó héobh sais cad éon scíal cad éon sais genre cad éon sais charactéir an tú gimmert.
yeah.
Gus te sé sin a fradisteach sa rud like má han tú gír agus mna han tú gír like nuair ham sa gimmert like charactéirs beidir go sin níos oscailtas níos an fuineh níos irde vet níos an fuineh gomsa níos irde ar set go hainir nu má sé like ní sé method but like téim sais a Joe one sais má
Mm-hmm.
Cuan is dorcha vet sais níos cuan is níos dorcha is like cumad am héin is just cumad an fineh don charactéirs an downsais an tam go léir agus te go chain rud le chéile so an fairness
Mm.
rud is fearr agus is brad am meáidir sais na scannána difriúil agus má hafern má timppel art
Yes.
an rudí sin léir
Agus like find who obviously no well, better not find who, but notes on Stúrthóragus rudí mar sin like I'd say go bhfuil like dearca difriúla ag na héine ó
Oh,
chuig sin, so I suppose sin beidir dúlán orintanta nó
well is toch tú gír like sais an scíal le ancient agus slitte difriúlagus a perspectives difriúla ag tá hain agus de stúr sibh gcónaí a mecht a Joe céanna nuair há rudaí dal go maith agus si be gír an íarne inse beall an scíal sin ach bhaintá sé simúla dal beidir slí nach capan tú goach an rair go dal nó beidir goach sé dal a Joe de friúil agus go nábró sé sin comá sin hanú gíir sais Lis gan an has sé difriúil ó heh státe han tú gíir sais beidir goach ganú cheat takes a goth. So stocha mar a sé difriúil ó sé ó an státe go dtí scanán nuair há tú dhéanamh cúpla take difriúil mar hat tú ná sais blas difriúil chu in gacha an rair. Nuair nachhfuil ná a goth han tú gíir sais an íarne den rud a há de gceart agus nuair há am a goth chun cúpla takes dhéanamh difriúil chun sais beidir blas difriúil a chuirtí gananta beidir dhéanamh cúpla rudí nach capú a broch nó just dul a gonne an grain stoch an ground agus dul slí difriúil just chun fiochant
yeah.
agus cuat rana don editor chun sais beidir se sin simú chur just smut a beag de like just rudistí gananta agus just bach performance go heile difriúil agus fechtú a macht is litte difriúil ar tá macht cúpla ach sé sin an héhsáid ama agus mar atá gobar le daine mags han tú gcónaí like chuineh cén áit chun an marpaí just chun é oscail suas a slitte difriúil.
Yeah, anna himúil, yeah. Agus tá sé níos congraí on like fear hail nach like because people are not we're not that simplistic. We all like we're funny and then we're crying and then so
Yeah,
like it's not yeah it's more truthful to be like a bit kind of off the wall or different in scenes, I think.
and also like you can think, oh, this is the big scene, but also you're not walking into a room being like, this is the time where I'm gonna say this thing and have this emotional moment. You're like, you don't know what's gonna happen, so like, why would your character know
Yeah.
it's coming? That often gets in the way if I'm trying to go for this, whereas actually I don't know what's coming, and then if it surprises me, then it surprises the character, and then it's
Yeah.
surprising and it's new. It's fresh. That's the
Yeah.
kind of it's paradoxical, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. It's a funny one. Yeah. Um, like what job or what role or piece of writing have you done that you're most proud of, actually, in all of that kind of
The next one.
the answer?
Um, yeah, there's like I gcónaí bíon like rudí ára go tagan siad is soch an rudí nuair scríbim agus chun bear a hain sin in rudí bí anna like anna funineh agus bíon lasta suas go héidir go thomláin nuair há sé tagan
Yeah,
like nuair há mé gobar le daine anna chóngotlumm. Um,
yeah.
agus nuair há funineh má idir me hain agus an cóúidir há na daine há a gobar sinne nuair há sé macht an 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 sais an rud go léir.
Mm. No, I suppose I go over like I suppose size léchre tá go ó heh astóach na stúrthóireach de like ceapan go rud úntaach é sin no never meet your heroes ar an
Yeah,
tuile
so
le.
like yeah, sé eiste agus tócha nóair háin tú gobar le duine tú vísa dhéanamh rudí suas sama ag na haon meáidir like tíine áthair nó léchra nó agus a bheith gobar le agus an son beidir go bris rudí ó héh le gáis há siad just daine chomá agus
Yeah.
há siad like go chéanana cosú le chéalaach tá próséis difriúla go chéanana agus comáine sin so stocha just an obair é hain agus nó an rud is bralam nó ví a gobar le na daine is mó há siad just like sound like na daine is deise.
Name drops in the
No.
uh, no,
No.
okay. Yeah, sure, go on.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, well ga chéanana like vís anna like há an tálam an ga chéanana ví a gobar leis ní a bhéin sais bhí ga chéanana anna leis
Hmm.
so far so good.
Yeah, great on the back. Agus like just Marialler the Froish hain like vis dearcha kind Marialler an character agus a bheith smuoin a faoi cadatá sa cean aige agus rudí mar sin. Like conas go dagan tú isteach sa character chun a bheith a gastóracht sa scéil sin like what's your process?
Intense breathing. Where am I? Where am
Yeah, yeah,
I? Yeah, so go like an script and rud is tá the sin size Bible
yeah.
agus
Okay.
tógan tú like níl an character sticks a script but cara tú a hógant ón script agus sé dhéana fear agus céhé an characters céhé mise an go brand leis agus sais uanta há sin níos congraí thomsa agus uanta ní há sin níos fuide thomsa agus yeah
Mm. But like a
Sais
man who
rud
says the shul team for the swing of her shin, like who am I? Mariarfa.
sais yeah agus cad in like an context an cóhéics an down sin agus céhé cad iad na cadre atá aige an duine sin is cad é aá bríonn sé meáil agus cad cén source like cad a bheith sé glas a sús or nó sus cad é like uanta há sin ní siimplíos uanta he sé just cad dal dain ó heh sais an taide ó an am a há sé chunéistí gantaach.
Hmm.
Yeah, tá ón script agus na rudaí athá an duine seo na dúchláán há sé Mac tríd agus tugann sé sin cóla ó heh cinná hams chun mecht leis agus
Mm.
cén anúnta aige dhéanann sé sin maitha canúnta ge character dhéanann sé sin like says a lán an ábhargus mar canún sais fisiciúil difriúil orm agus braham difriúil agus canún difriúile
Yeah,
ach
these the very conach le déni serene maker nach raibh
sé
conservation sin.
yeah bhí sin go má mar bhís Bhí a gobar le John Slattery an son agus PJ Byrne agus Milo Callahan agus Bruiser an tanam an character bhí cé agus just fi sé an simú le bheith just a gobar le daine gur raibh anna obair dintecha
Mhm.
agus an sais cumparáid ó héamh sais cén stíle hacha a bheith gobar chun sa siad san ar set agus
Mm.
bhí cameras a gobar in am céine so bhí an tálam an blion sin mar bhí a gobar le Jerry Gornell is bhí trééis cúpla scoláíon agus ní raibh mór an ní rásró nar bhí se cumach istí san an rud sin
Mhm.
mar bhís dhéanamh an obair agus bhís just amach is meas amach
Yeah.
tagan bíon sa dúirt nar bhí seach nuair tagam ó áit nachfuil a lán rudí déanta gom
Yeah.
ó héáis agus macht isteach an rud am like okay
Yes.
macht a rí ach nuair hámsa like a ré it's like
Yeah.
oh yeah
Yeah.
right
Yeah. Just tack, tack, tack. Yeah.
yeah agus ó héamh sais nar bhí ag far ar John agus é siúd a gobers níor sé bhí sé anna compórdoch just like just sé dhéanamh rudí héine ra sé chuir mór an sa strusar héin agus just ach fós bhí anna cócht aige just dhéanamh rudí anna siimplí agus dhéanamh rudí anna dain gan a bheith chun ar mór an
Mm.
éachar.
Anna himmel. Yeah, it's mal am sin komma bheith like Bhís ag gobar mar extra orintanta agus just a bheith ar set agus a féchant chunas i brion sé sin ar fád agus an cadrah idir mar hapla an scríbhneoir agus an stúrthóir nó daoine eile ar an set, le tá sé an himúil chunas i brion sé ar fád le chéile.
sé
Yeah.
yeah, an down is cochéin rud is
Yeah.
ag gcónaí heisna just fucking just a gear just ag kind of smuointe difriúla a gáil smuointe difriúla ó aon duine agus just
Mm.
ceist chunas bhí sé sin aon sa rud ag an beidir difriúil cad a ceapan teán mar seo an ghean sé seo yeah.
Yeah, no, Anna himmúil is brala me. I won't name drop. No, I don't want
Oh,
to
yeah,
take
go
take the
for it.
limelight.
Déine
Well, okay then. Piece of gober mar extra and or the lobster, the Colin
oh
Farm,
yeah
Rachel
yeah
Isaac We should just on a crack. Gonna send
yeah bhí sé sin
Yeah, Anna mood. Yeah, it's probably me. But
yeah
like,
mar sin
yeah.
scrá gan an sin
Mis leis agus just ó héamh vís rá mar eile an scríóir agus an stúrthóir ag gobar op i brion an bhirt sin gomininic le chéile agus tá sé an anna himúéis sin ecin cos tá cadre rilí garacha le tá sé an bhar fad so just simú yeah.
yeah bheith sé simúla bheith fiach an dear jogurt sa fuórt nótaí man nó
Just Anna Huan nu léim
yeah
big drama mór anna him
yeah
na fecint yeah.
yeah cool é sin mé eile go sé just anna hiún beidir go sin nó ach ní hiún sin mór an nótaí nó
No, 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 no. Cén cóirle a dúrpá go aine tá géirí bheith ag gobers sa dams gan aíochta.
just do it
Guys, you heard it here.
like yeah it's just sin thing road just like my heart gachéine difriúil ó héáis just tá is a gachéanana cad in na rudí like hastig in der farsen a héin chun é anmh mags má like splank éigen chu just teagóir ag fach dúláin i difriúil gachéanana agus fach slit difriúla chun é dhéanamh ag gachéanana
Agus nóir daring tú like just do it sin mar astóir like cap tú anam a chuirteachta éisteachta agus rugin mar sin.
yeah
Like,
like yeah dúirt Philip Seymour Hoffman mar tú agus dhéanaan chóla anna bheith like má hanú ggéir a bheith mar eistóir éon á má éanana a chur spás chur spás siúl a gcóir daine chun drama éigen nó rud éigen dhéanamh tóg de seans chun an spás sin a thógant like it's about taking space
wow, yeah.
and like any chance you can get to take that space take it someone's paid for that or it's their time to put something on you take that space and you get better taking space really of And then I suppose the more you take space, the more stories that come that you're like, oh, I'm interested in taking that space or this space.
A bit like you
Um,
say with having work already as your move, like if you're already in a kind of a flow of work, then it's easier because you're in that headspace. And maybe like
yeah,
that, taking the space is
it's a
sort of
thing of like,
owning that role that you have as an actor or
yeah, and then also recognizing spaces that aren't for you, but that comes after you've taken up spaces that aren't you,
places
or
would
like
not be for you, just roles that weren't right or
just better go well inside whenever the rule is capus like gomininic like Harleen Che like a lot number and I'm like, oh, I'm just doing it to do it
mm,
concise. Clachta bheith agam
yeah,
ach níon chun é sin níana a bhríist ach bhí sé sin dúchláán mach and mach siad. It's a
yeah.
great challenge to do that, but that's something that it didn't work out or wasn't quite right, or I knew it
Mm,
going in that it wasn't for me, the gut kind of saying,
yes.
oh, don't. Or, but then also like VCN of um, doing there's a really great workshop over in London called Go Hub, and everyone learns the same scene, and there's like 30 people, and they sit either side of a room, and you get up, you've learned your part, but if anyone can get up, and then if there's like 4 or 5 people trying to get up for the same part, you play rock, paper, scissors to do it, and whoever wins rock, paper, scissors gets to do the scene.
Brilliant.
But I thought it was an interesting way of working in terms of like, again, you're like, what's that got to do with acting? And then it's like, well, if you want to fight for that space again, you have to play the rock, paper, scissors, play the game. You have to try and earn that space to then, when you have the space, then you have to fight and be brave enough to jump in and the courage to do the thing as well.
Yes. Oh, really interesting to have everybody in the whole room have done the same work.
Yeah, yeah,
And then they're
yeah.
fight. Yeah, I mean, that's the reality, isn't it? Shin.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because you could have two people playing the same role, but they do it wildly different and both work. Like,
Or they just bring just a different energy, even if they do it in inverted commas in the same way. They're
yeah,
different people. They're bringing a whole other. It's mad, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's the whole casting thing as well. I think like it can make or break a film if it's like well cast. It can just yeah.
Yeah, because your physiognomy, what you look like just by looking at a picture, something says a lot. Like a picture says 1,000
Mm,
words, and
mm.
all your memories, even if you're not like, I think the less you try also is really interesting because you can see like a whole map and a landscape in someone's face, and you can tell people like, oh, this person's a lunatic, or this person is like
Or at least can
butter
play a
wouldn't,
lunatic, right?
yeah, or this butter wouldn't melt in their mouth, or you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah. Ah, it's
yeah.
interesting. What are your three films that you'd recommend to anyone that they absolutely must watch? What are your like go-to? I'm sure it changes probably, does it? But
Yeah, I don't think, I think it's
or do you
always
have
different.
one even? Maybe you don't have three.
Well, I think like The Master is great.
Yeah.
Um, Paul Thomas Anderson, I love that. Stalker, I probably wouldn't recommend it to everybody. It's like a Russian film by Tarkovsky, very esoteric, very slow burn. I think it's amazing. Um, but I don't think that would be everyone's cup of tea and people would get bored of it. But I love it. Love the soundtrack. Love what he does with shots. He kind of brings you into the world where you almost feel like I'm in this movie with them in a weird way.
Hmm.
Um, and then I just yeah, Climax by Gaspar Noé. I wouldn't recommend it in a if you're in a bad place or a good place. It might send you in the wrong direction. It's just bonkers. Um, yeah, and then you've like Inception or films
Which
like
one, sorry? Oh
Inception,
yeah,
or
love that movie. Yeah.
Lost in Translation. There's so many I could just start listing out movies now, but yeah, just the ones that are popping into mind.
Yes. Final thing, what is your favorite quote or scene from the movie?
favorite quote is probably that one from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Um, if you don't stop and look around at the roses every once in a while. A lot of life moves pretty fast, but if you don't stop around, look around every once in a while, you may just miss it. I think that's a great quote.
Ooh, it's great. Goosebumps. Yeah. I haven't watched that film in years. My God.
To see
Yeah.
that there's a couple of scenes in The Master, I think. One where Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman get arrested, and Joaquin Phoenix just goes off the rails in the cell, and he's slamming his head out. He's like still in handcuffs, slamming his head off the bed. He's trying to like kick this toilet, and he accidentally like in real life breaks the toilet by kicking it, and they're just like, and then also the ending scene of that, where it's just Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix just talking, and there's just so much depth of these two characters in these two worlds. It's just like very intense,
Amazing. Amazing actors. I mean, yeah.
and it's also just them sitting in stillness, just saying these things, but holding such huge concepts in their minds, and you're just like, whoa.
Wow. Thank you so much for all your time and insight. It's really interesting. And good luck with your next projects.
Yeah,
And
no
see you in
worries.
Dingle Film Festival, obviously. Yeah, gur míle mágat gurad tá man bit gus bhí sé an himú a bheith caiint le.
Yeah, Garina Margaret.
Thank
So,
you.
well,